Hello YouTube, this is William. The lessons learned from the Texas ice storm is just, man, it's about to go viral. I think I haven't had any video to get that many views in this short of time. I think we're almost 12,000 views right now. For me, that's a lot. So I thought maybe it seemed like the main thing was the the power issue. And the Jackery, like I said in that video, did a phenomenal job for what we needed it for. There was one aspect that kind of concerned me. If you plugged in some of the electrical appliances, like the little kettles, we like the little electric kettles to boil water for meals or whatever you wanted to do instead of using some other type of heat source, then those little water kettles, the electric water kettles, is phenomenal for that. The problem is with a 1,000-watt system, the initial ramp up for those kettles is over 1,000 watts. So it would kick off. It wouldn't run one of the kettles, which, I mean, you could use them on the fireplace and stuff like that for a standard coffee pot, which that's what we did to boil water. But if you wanted to use the electric kettle, then you needed something a little bit bigger. So what I did was I have purchased 2 of these Blue Eddies on Amazon. And these are 2,000 watts each, okay? So I've got 2 just like this. And I've also got 2 solar panels to keep these charged or actually help them charge out. The idea is to get some sort of a solar system. I don't want the solar system that you usually see with banks of lithium batteries and converters and all this other stuff. I want something that's a little bit more versatile. Okay, I want to be able to plug these in and keep them charged up with a solar system, and then when I need them, unplug them, take them where I need them, and do that type of thing. Now, later on, I may get another set to leave charged up and then power some things in the shop. I don't know yet, but it's a progressive thing. It's as you have the funds to do something, you should do something. Okay. Because this is not going to be the end of it. There's always going to be storms. There's always going to be disasters. It's just a fact of life. We've had it pretty easy for a while, but now it looks like with a solar minimum, like scientists are saying we're in, that it looks like that we're going to have more of these storms. So what I'm doing right now is I'm testing this out. I'll move you in a little bit closer. And it has 6 AC outlets. It has USB ports. I think there's 2 of them. Yeah, there's 2 USB ports there, and you have another 2 here. And you have the 60-watt 7-pin, I think is what they call it. And you have the 12-volt plug-in here, and then of course the I'm sorry I'm shaking, but. And then you have the standard cigarette lighter port and the DC counter right there. So, I mean, and on top, you have wireless charging here for your cell phones and stuff, okay? So I've had this refrigerator, and it's just a standard size refrigerator. I've had it plugged into this unit for about 2 hours now. And when I started, it was 95%. So we've used about 5% in 2 hours. So I think that I'm checking this to see how much I get, but it looks like it's going to get at least 10, 15 hours, maybe 20. I'm not sure yet. But I wanted to kind of let you guys know about the power of what I'm doing different, okay? So I'm kind of doing a modular solar system, if you will. And right now I'm putting this in the shop because it's a better location for all of this stuff to be in the shop. And then I can move it around to either take it to my mom and dad's house if I need to, or I could put it in my house if I needed to run some freezers or whatever. And I still have the Jackeries, okay? So the Jackeries is going to run some things, but these 2,000 watts systems will run a whole lot more, okay? So I've beefed up the battery packs that I have because they work so well. Now let's talk about generators. I've always had fuel stored, gasoline stored for generators. Now when you do that, let me show you what I use. Because with the ethanol that is in those in the fuel today, it will eat those generators up. Okay, so this is what I use in the gas tanks, the stored gas that I have, and also in the generators. Any small engines that you have, you need to put some sort of treatment in. I've tried the others, they didn't work very well, but this seems to do the trick for me. Okay, and I got it at the small engine shop. I think I got a bottle at the marine store, the local marine store, and I also got a bottle at the saw shop, where I bought a chainsaw here a few months back. But that seems to do the trick for me. Another thing is, when I get done starting them up the generators every month, I have it on my cell phone reminder to start the generators. And I run them for 10-15 minutes, and then I shut the fuel off and let it just die from lack of fuel. So that drains all the fuel out of the system, so it's not sitting in the hoses and in the carburetor and getting all that varnish and everything inside those hoses and the carburetor. So keep that in mind, because the ethanol will ruin an engine in a heartbeat. All right. So your small engines, I would recommend, if you have a fuel shut off, shut it off and let the engines just starve for fuel. That way you know that the fuel is out of that system. Okay. And be sure and keep this in your tank, because it takes care of water and also ethanol issues. All right. So just a few little things that I wanted to kind of touch on as a follow-up to that the Texas ice storm, and they're calling for a possibility of another one next week, another Arctic blast. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what we had, but again, it appears that this is not going to be a rare occurrence, for at least in the foreseeable future. Now, I mean, climate and weather and all this other stuff is cyclical. I mean, it always comes around. So it's best to be prepared and not need it than it is to need it and not be prepared. All right. The other thing that I've done is I've gotten some small little buddy heaters, little propanes heaters, and I've got the 12-foot hoses with that. And I've got, I haven't got them yet, but I've got one little small propane tank, but I'm going to get 2 more. That way I have 3 full 7-gallon propane bottles that I can run those heaters on if I need to. All right. The main thing is going to be the wood. The wood worked great. So we're going to stock back up on the wood. But again, back up to the backup to the backup, because you never know when you need to help a neighbor. You never know when the opportunity comes along to share what you have. So we want to be able to take care of our neighbors and our families, and we'll get through this. We'll get through anything as long as we work together. Remember, you can't depend on the government. I don't care whose side you're on. This is not a political thing. This is a realistic thing. Anything in the government is bureaucratic, and the wheels turn so slow that this thing is way over by the time they seem to get on your doorstep. So it's up to you and I to take care of our friends and families. All right. So anything in your area that you think could possibly happen in a disaster, you need to have a plan for it, and then a backup plan to the plan. All right. So think about these things, and till the next one, you guys get in the backyard with a little stick. Be sure and take a child with you, get the opportunity, and we'll catch you again very soon.